It's been away from your house.
It's 2 years. And now with the recent rain, they're gonna have to go in and redo all the.
Oh, you ain't been you been getting your home redone all the time?
Yeah. Hello? Hi, is this Betty?
Am I still on? I'm out now, right? I'm just on.
Oh, okay. Thank you so very much. Thank you.
Are you on? I can't get the screen. We're trying to turn the picture on?
Yeah.
You can't because you got StreamYard. You can only one of them can use the video. You can't box it on the. What do you mean? I can open up to the side. Steady. What'd you hit? Oh, yeah, it was on. What'd you hit? When I hit up there? Yeah. Where? At the bottom? At the bottom, okay. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so I can see you popping in. Let's see.
This cop when you get the link to get on.
Oh, well.
All right. What's the name?
That is Brenda.
Who am I looking for? You got her on yours, cool? I mean, on.
Let me send it to her. Just send it to her.
How you guys doing?
What's going on?
Oh, everything is great, boy.
Man, you got it. How's the investment coming along?
How's the which?
The investment? How the investment doing?
Oh man, it's doing terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, because United States they don't want to deal in cryptocurrency. They say they're gonna come out. Well, I heard that they're gonna come out with their own cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like the federal government having a regulated currency because then they're gonna be able to tell you what to buy, how to buy, when to buy. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. They try to do a decentralized currency. Yeah.
Yeah.
You go. You send it to him and just off.
So, but what can we do? And then they did away with affirmative action, and now they're dealing away with scholarships. They don't want to give black people scholarships no more.
Well, look, we in a technological age right now. These brothers and sisters better start getting on this technology, man. This AI wave, for real. And look, I'm dabbling in it myself. I just spent yesterday learning how to program so I could put an app together. Build some skills. We ain't gotta go to college like that no more. Man, it's enough homes that look bad in the office community that we can get some brothers and sisters, pick up some hammers and nails, put them things back together. We can get some other ones that's a little bit more technologically savvy to get up on this computer, build some apps, and utilize this AI to make our lives a little easier, man. We got too many problems going on. So it's like I hear where we be coming from, but man, we gotta give it time. Real.
Yeah.
Man, look, when I went online to look up how to program and all of that, ain't nobody on there is a brother or sister. They either South Asian or they Indian.
Wow.
So look, Look, go to the thing on your radio. Click on the thing. Pop up for you.
It's 40.
Do that right there. Yeah.
So this right, this is just the premium.
Okay.
So it'll be 640.
Right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to put that
All
on
right.
there?
Let it go live.
Sure.
Get y'all up. Boys, I'm just gonna mute the people that's speaking. You got Arnold. Hold on, my bad. I gotta do one thing before I do that one thing.
Hey, Tiny.
You do that first.
Hey, how's it going, Arnold?
One day at a time, these inspirational, motivational brothers.
Where we at? Oh, here we go.
Making me come
Good
out.
to hear your voice.
Yeah, same here. Here.
Mm-hmm.
What you keep? Oh, I ain't put you in. I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah, you put me in.
And then our boys, Kristen.
Oh, yeah, for real.
Who is that?
And now, what happened?
How they gonna shoot the target?
I know it's weird. Oh, there it is. All right, y'all. Sorry about that. Yeah, and we are live. Welcome to Northwest Austin Council, where we come to you from 6 to 8 p.m. We have various ways of interacting with the show. You got the Facebook, the YouTube, and we got the Zoom. So we got the Zoom going as well. So we got all channels up and running, and we are live, man. And last week we had a nice discussion. The congressman was able to bless us, you know what I mean, with everything going on in Congress. For those that just popped in, we was having a quick conversation about decentralized currency and how this crypto, that the government done moved their way into the crypto space. But, you know, that's not what we had to talk about today. But that it made me think about it because we had the congressman on the show last week. One of the things that is most prevalent to everybody at the moment is still the relief from the flood that happened July 2nd. And so we've been putting a couple meetings together, one that very Thursday, and that got a little, it got a little overwhelming, you know, for everybody involved. Yeah, they all the activists that wanted to come out. Some wanted to march, some wanted to scream and yell, some wanted to just cuss everybody out, you know. But from that, we put another something together the next Thursday, and we gave everybody the information that they needed from the city, the county, the state, and the federal government. And hopefully, you know, we can start to see some monetary relief soon. We got a petition that's going around, so if y'all ain't seen that petition and y'all been affected, y'all need to sign. We got an online version and we got a paper version. I'm gonna drop the online version right in the comments for the Zoom so y'all can sign up. But anyway, that's just a quick little recap of what we've been talking about. I know we're gonna talk about that and this before. And as usual, we like to go to Steve, man. What you got going on?
Yep, exactly what you just said. We're following up from the meeting that we had Friday, which encompassed the congressman, the county charge stamps, state general assembly, which is Camille Lilly, Representative Lilly, and we also had Alderman Chris Charlie Farrell there from 29th Ward. And we have representatives from the 37th Ward, Mary, that works for Alderman Mitz from 37. And again, I want to thank everybody for coming out because it gave us an opportunity to have all of those parties in the room, you know, so that they can talk about how they're going to interact with each other to help this whole initiative go through. See, that to me is a big issue when you got the federal, the state, the county, and the local government in the room, and they can bounce back and forth and say in front of all of us what they can do to help give people some support and help in this dire time. The other thing I was going to bring up is that immediately after that meeting, Saturday, the West Side Black elected officials met, which was another good thing because it gave all of those West Side Black elected officials an opportunity to talk to each other. Definitely talk about this emergency need that's going on right now in the community in Austin, in the West Side, in the western suburbs, and all of the above. And they can figure it out, you know, come together. Now, you know, you don't have individuals asking me, you know, I had a state rep ask me, so what's Danny talking about? What's Emma talking about? I'm like, you the rep. You're supposed to know this, you know? But nevertheless, they're in the room together now. They had an opportunity to converse and talk about the issues that are important and that's pertinent to the constituents.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just let me bounce to Arnold, because you had a little bit more clear ear, Arnold, than I did. So I was kind of around the room and trying to catch up and listen to people. But maybe you can enlighten us on some of the things, the key points, again, that I may have missed.
Well, I think you spot on with what you were saying. In regards, I would like to thank those individuals for coming out on the 2 meetings so far that we've convened, and certainly we're looking forward to putting together another meeting in the future. And so if you did not get your name and phone number or email as a follow-up contact, where we can update you on the latest information that either one of us or anyone receives, that will be important to the discussion and information and communication that's going throughout the community. Having said that, certainly, again, many of the people expressed, I think Steve, DeAndre, they certainly like the way the format and how we handled as far as was comfortable and they can hear over the mic, so individuals got to hear the many questions that was asked and the answers that was provided by our elected officials, and the information that was given out that many of them I saw right now, those numbers as well. And there was some additional information from the governor's office, which had some numbers on it in regards to some of the other concerns that may have been of interest to either one of the individuals there. What I kind of would like to solicit and ask the public for their support is get behind this petition effort. Because, again, in the beginning, none of this is finger point. There is a process and a protocol to getting this whole issue and concerns resolved as far as funding, putting together a commission to do a study and come back with suggestions or recommendations, so none of us will be back in this position again in the future, having suffered a natural disaster or just any crisis that may come about. So I'm gonna kind of listen tonight to suggestions as to how we can solicit your help and input on getting our petition out and about throughout the geographical area, and solicit that support for them to help us, because after all, helping us is helping them as well, and we helping one another. So it's to hold some accountability and transparency to elected officials and to us, the people as well. So join us, people moving to get these questions addressed and resolved, and bring home the base, the money.
Yeah, sure.
Remember the lady and you say, where's the beef?
Right.
So we, and again, we understand about FEMA, that's the government side, but each one of those 3 governmental bodies, legislatively, that have the authority, they can appropriate money for disaster relief out of their individual budget. So let's not lose focus on that, talking about what FEMA's going to do and all, everything that, that doesn't explain what their individual legislative bodies are going to do. So we're going to demand that, and hopefully we'll get some results soon. So that's all I'm saying.
And those 3 bodies, legislative bodies are again?
City Council,
Right.
Mayor,
Right.
Board of Commissioners, Tony Winkle, and I don't want to say it disrespectfully. I'll say our Honorable Mayor, our Honorable County Board President, our Honorable J.D. President of Government, as well as the House of Representatives and Senators, with Chris Welch and Representative Chris Welch and Senator Don Harmon. Both of them are speakers of the individual house. So, and we have a supermajority in the state of Illinois on the Democratic side. So it's not Democrats versus Republicans. They can pass legislation or votes for to allocate money without Republican votes. So, having said that, that's pretty much the lay of the land. What we're asking, join in with us, help us do better, and get the word out. And again, if you did not receive nothing saying you cannot sign a petition, it's just saying you support the efforts of what the petition is about. And I'll ask DeAndre sometime tonight before the podcast ends, read it out. So we want people to be clear. We're not finger pointing, but we're gonna need these elected officials to carry out the legislative process through the budgetary process. So get a vote out of the committee to the full bodies for the vote to allocate funding for disaster relief.
Now let me say this. My understanding from the meeting Friday from Alderman Chris Kelly Farrell, he said that we had to show a need of $25 million in damages from the city
collectively.
or that's collectively in all the areas that it involves. So that meant the county and wherever else it happened.
But they indicate they met that threshold.
Yeah.
Okay, so they did meet the threshold of 25 million. Okay.
I also want to say the necessity of this petition is so that action can actually take place. And the reason why I say that is because in this meeting, the next meeting, the meeting before it, and the meeting before it,
Right.
we've gotten into a space where we chastise our leadership for helping the migrants. And I'm being political with it, right? But and I understand you take care of home first. But one of the things that I think we have to really realize.
Yes, what you coming in for?
The migrant
Shut the
folks,
door. I don't want no flies in there. God.
what people got to realize too, that the migrant folks were here for about 8 months before we actually saw that $51 million given to them. And that's not even a total extent of the funds that they've actually received. And I'm talking about not only from the city level, but from multiple levels of government. And one of the things that really upset me about the process with the immigrants is the fact that we actually have a committee in city council on refugee, immigrant, and I can't think of the other rights. That committee had not met for a year prior to for a year, the window period also including this 8-month period in which these migrants had come. They actually met for the first time in over a year in last month. So the reason for this petition is because if we allow our leadership to sit back, they gonna sit back because we're upset, but we don't really understand that the folks that actually get our taxpayer dollars that we go to the voting booth for and put in position wasn't handling their business. And that's a shame that the migrants were here for 8 months. And even prior to them getting here, which this is not a new problem, we knew before 8 months that they were coming. That group hadn't even met. What are they getting paid for? So we need this petition because we got to get on their ass.
I think they were stonewalling because of the previous mayor. That's what I think. Because why would they not come together? I mean, it was all about making somebody look bad.
Probably.
You know, think about that. Nobody knew this, you know. Now that you brought it to the forefront, it could have been just what I said. They didn't want to do it because we want to make the mayor look bad instead of getting the initiative in front of the whole city council, discussing what they needed to do to make it something happen.
Well, the other concern is very easily from politically speaking, that maybe these elected officials did not want to get out ahead of their leadership and their caucus as it relates to items like this. Because, you know, it seems to be a popularity contest. People are really pain and suffering going on, and so perception, and again, so we petition our elected officials via whatever means necessary, short of a revolution, and then, from that first meeting that occurred that Thursday, where we had almost 1,200, 1,500 people, essentially, that many of us talking about protesting their individual houses where they live. So, again, all this is on the table, from what I was hearing, and maybe some of you, people were hot. And
Right.
they really want to work with the elected officials, but they want to do their due diligence, go down there, stand on their own 2 feet, think for themselves. And it's not so much whether I supported you or not, but you're there, you elected to represent all the people of your individual wards or districts. So do that. And think, and then they can call a meeting of the council, like on some instances when they had some of the meetings as it involved funding for the immigrants. Many of them wanted to call, but how another the posture and procrastinating and the politics was they were talking to one another, so if they didn't have a forum, no official business could be conducted. We're saying, I would like to see my alderman, my representative, my governor, stand up for the people.
Right.
I mean, I'm not there to kiss the ring. That's not over
Right.
England or them times.
You became a servant of the people. That's why you call it
public servant. Public servant, right? So, give them some backbone. This is what this petition is saying. We stand behind our elected officials.
Well,
And if they can't stand with us, then that's what elections are about. They have consequences.
Well, let me say this. I want to thank everybody that's viewing, everybody that was, especially on the Zoom, because you guys did something that was most historical, especially in the history of Northwest Austin Council, because in 50 years, we've never been able to organize in such a rapid fashion, and everybody that supported it and helped online, and definitely not online, because you guys know, in the last 10 to 12 years, I've always said the sneaker net beats the internet any day. But in this case, the internet definitely beat the sneaker net. It might have had both. I'll take that back. It had a little bit of both, because I know Miss Jacob was out there passing flyers out the old school way, and Bertha was putting the word out, so hey, I want to thank everybody that actually did this. It was actually people that are involved in the community.
Well, Steve, I want to personally say to you, as well as I would express it to your wife, and certainly you can express to Angela as well, that you all open up your house for the people. When these elected officials have all the resources and authority and the contact to call any address or structure and say, we want to convene a meeting for whatever purpose. So I've heard of many people express that, and they wanted me to say to you personally, thank you for bringing us together, irregardless of the fact it wasn't large enough. We knew it wasn't be large enough for everybody, but nonetheless, we owe you a debt of gratitude for what you and your wife sacrificed when these elected officials could have done the same thing. All of them.
Yeah.
No. Help us few who did. They were at our meeting, but they continued to out at our meeting.
Right. We did have those that definitely supported right away. I do have to say Congressman Davis was the first person I called after the meeting, after the show on the 2nd of July. He told me, respected people to call, all the way down to water reclamation. Bertha, you got a call? Bertha, you got something to say? You got your hand up.
Yes, thank you. I think it's maybe a 2-part question. Arnold, did I hear you say we need to support our elected officials? Is that what I heard you saying?
To the extent to keep things moving as far as process, okay? as far as the process goes, again, and I want to clarify, they are the ones that would have to take the vote out of their individual governmental bodies as far as getting the votes to get some relief for us, okay, in that regard. Now, not, I mean, when it comes to voting for a person, that's an individual choice.
Well, let me say this. I support them with that petition because the
Right.
petition is what's gonna put some fire behind it. I don't know
Well,
if you noticed that.
I
the
want to
meeting-
say this. Outside of the mayor and DeAndre was given things about this 8-month process for the immigrants. Outside of the mayor, most of the people in office have been in office. They don't deserve my support. They have all been there. There's no reason we should have had to be calling around trying to get somebody to support us. They should have been trying to support us. Maybe I'm looking at it wrong, but I feel like my elected officials failed me. And I have no support for them. I honestly don't. They are pouring all this money into these immigrants, and we are still struggling. We're waiting on FEMA, but we're still struggling. And these people are getting what they need, even to the fact where they were having doctors to go to these people and examine them. Hell, I'm being called by everybody because I owe hospital bills. I have paid taxes all my life and I get nothing. And basically it's our elected officials that have us in this thing because they have not tried to go back and try to rewrite some of these wrongs that's for us. But of course, we can support every other country, but we can't support our own.
It all starts at home, person. I mean, we're not just agreeing with you. And again, you have a right to vote for whoever you want to vote for, or if you want to vote at all. So, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not right or wrong. I mean, that's your right or your choice. And
I think it does boil down to what Bert's saying. They should respond. But, you know, I have to say this though. By responding back to me after I responded to the congressman, I thought that was a good start, you know. Who is the key person they should go to? Should it be a West Side Health Authority? Should it be Austin coming together? I mean, we know they ain't working Sunday, you know, like we working, you know. We know that, Bertha. You out there in the trenches. You out there in like Butch used to stay in the vineyard. Butch used to kill me with that one too. I'm in the vineyard. But again, you know, they're not working Sunday. And that's why we were able to mobilize people so fast. And, you know, I have to say, you guys were instrumental because you were like, Steve, we got to do something now. You can't wait. And of course, that's what we did because we were able to mobilize. The go-to person when an emergency happens, I'm glad you brought that up, Bertha, because that's part of the second petition we want. We want to know why don't they have some kind of czar or commission, or even if it's a group of people from community that can activate when this happens, because nobody knows who to go to other than, wait, we got to listen to what the mayor has to say. Oh, wait, we got to listen to what the governor has to say. Oh, wait, we got to listen to what the president has to say. But that's always late down the line.
See, I don't want to interpret what she's saying by saying how they scared. I said earlier, the people elected these elected officials to go down there and represent them, whether they voted for them, not to stand on their own 2 feet and represent. And clearly through this, the last 2 weeks or so, I think the people have had a good view of our elected officials. Maybe agree with some, maybe not. But nonetheless, as we've been in around and about these meetings and some other meetings and listening to what the people are saying, it seems to me that they don't have the really close relationship with the people that they allude or procrastinate on having. So you had, I think, out of the meeting here, in the building here, The individuals I contacted on the South Austin area, every one of them and some more showed up. I mean, elders.
Right.
Who did carpool to get here, and they have since talked to me about they appreciate the information, and the biggest question in mind is, why can't these elected officials come together? Now, they said a few names like you, and they're clear on them coming together, but I guess it's only a name only.
I think this opens up a different set of questions, such as, what are the intangibles you're looking for when you go and elect somebody? Because what I see is so some folks come from that organizing background and, they're able to really get the people activated and the information to them, how they're going to do it. And others really don't understand organizing, nor do they really understand infrastructure. Because part of, not only securing the seat, but keeping it comes from infrastructure, building in community and trying to figure out, who and what, where, when, why, and how, so that when we have these type of situations, you already know what to do. And so to me, it goes back to, what are we looking for when we put these people? Because with my involvement and where I'm coming from, it has been less. I'm trying to figure out how to clear my screen. I don't know why the thing is on my screen like this.
Right.
It has, Jesus.
They say they're getting an echo.
An echo?
Yeah, they're saying that they're getting an echo on Facebook.
One of these needs to be muted then. Let me see. Oh, you know what? Make sure, yours isn't muted.
Right,
mute yours.
Yeah. So you muted.
Yeah, hold on. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Here, no, you can
Have to mute it. Okay.
You know what? I might have to just take you off.
Take it off. Take it off.
Let me see if that'll help.
Because I can't. Let me not go to audio.
So you ain't gonna be able to. Alright, let me see.
Real question.
Experiencing some technical difficulties.
No, go ahead. You can.
No, you're fine. You're not in.
I'm not.
All right, let me see.
Callers, we want to hear from the callers as far as their ideas, and comments, and again, it's not whether you're right or wrong or negative or positive, but you have the right to speak and represent. And so I'm here to listen and learn as well, and then move forward where we can come together and work together. I don't have all the answers.
You know what? Make sure your screen yard is muted. Yours too.
StreamYard.
Yeah. Put mute. Make sure that those are muted too. That should fix it.
Hold on, y'all. Okay, got it right here.
Yeah, it's picking up from there. So
All right, just so how is it now? Test 1 2 1 2. Everybody can hear us a little better.
Particularly that's the Facebook, right?
Yeah, which is Facebook.
Yeah.
Primarily. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're fine. You picking up from the mic. They shouldn't have been on the first place. It should be straight.
But nevertheless, we are continuing on with the latest.
Yeah, so what I was just saying was, since I've been involved, what I've seen is, especially when folks run, there is no platform. There is no purpose. This is what I'm gonna do for the community. It's all, subjective talk about what could happen, what I would like to do for you, not, what I know can happen because I'm familiar with the process, or even been involved enough to understand how things work. It's never that. Like, I've seen these, I'm blown away by the fact that, the platforms have no tangible ideas or propositions for the community, or even, again, purpose. Nobody that runs says in the next 4 years, this is what I would like to accomplish with your help in needing it, my promise to you, the people that elect me, will be to do this, this, this. That never happened. And so we put people in with this belief that, oh, well, I put you in there, or the people put you in there, and the expectation is that you're supposed to be able to do what we would like for you to do as our elected representation. But was that person competent? Did that person have the requisite, in the industry, we call them KSAOs, knowledge, skill, ability, and other competencies necessary to be successful at that position, to actually lead in that position? And I would go out on a limb and say, nah, we just put the person that was the loudest in the room, that had the most money to put signs out, to knock the most doors. And that's what we start, that's what we go wrong at. So my thing is, how do we get the best people? Because I continue to say, I don't like politics because we continue to put, we're not sending our best, our brightest, our philosophers, our great thinkers, our people that actually have ideas of substance, people that want to see this community in a different position. I just read an article from Dr. Willie Wilson that said it's the Black leadership in the community that's keeping the Black community down. Don't know if that's true or not. I don't know what being on the other side is, because I ain't on that other side. You know what I mean? In terms of how decisions get made and money gets sorted and all of that. But I can tell you, as a 36-year-old man, I don't like what I see. It's been 60 years again since the riot, and the West Side continues to get devastated by, these occurrences. And it just, again, fuels the fire of the people that have been living here for so long and have always been a victim of circumstance, right? And it's just like, come on. I wish this flood happened 2 weeks before an election. I know all of y'all will be lining up to make a vote. All I want, I'm telling you, I wish this emotion was the same emotion we approach these elections with. I do. Because then we would actually think about, man, what does that person have for me? And maybe we could think about flipping the political system on its head, and instead of allowing people to come to us and say what they're going to do for us, we're going to say, no, this is what we need from you. If you can't do it, we're not going to elect you. And if we do elect you and you don't do it, we're going to move you out of there. I wish. Randall.
Hey, real quick, let's answer Lance Evans' senior's question. He said, the federal government releases the funds. How would the funds be distributed? Anybody got any direct answer to that? Well, let me just say, the last time it happened, they literally brought the check to your door.
Well, I just thought of something that the elected officials can do, short of, combined making a declaration.
Right.
On the phone. They can look for an address in their particular ward that can facilitate, whether each ward, an impacted area. Now they can, like I say, come together and talk about what addresses or buildings or structures are available where. That's number one, because when FEMA does get the okay and come out, and the congressman certainly would be instrumental in that, then have some location that any of them may have in their particular ward that they're talking to one another as a possible site for the people to come to. Now that they should be identifying potential properties for this center that will service, the residents. Now that they can do without a lot of fanfare.
Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. He says, okay.
I want to thank you, DeAndre, for raising the point that a lot of these elections are won on name recognition, signs being put out, and who can raise most money. Unfortunately, that does not mean that they are the better candidate. And it's so unfortunate because there are some people who probably to get in office or deterred from running because financially they cannot afford it. And
Yeah.
they might do a better job. And that's so unfortunate.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Lance Ellis wanted to know about the 25 million in damages. We already have
Yeah, we crossed that threshold.
we crossed that threshold, and but we still now we're waiting on the formalities and the paperwork.
Yeah.
It's that Illinois Emergency Management Department as far as with the governor of the state of Illinois. And then once that file or that information is gathered, put together, it'll be forwarded on with a request from the governor of Illinois, J.D. Pritzker, to President Biden and that department people. So I don't know if the assessment is ongoing right now and when the answer will be forthcoming, I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
But certainly, we do know that the congressman did address that in our meeting as well. So we're just waiting on the word. But again, we want to just take it back down to the city, the county, and the state. They can take action through their legislative body to appropriate money for this disaster relief, independent of what the federal government does.
Yeah.
There's no reason why those individual bodies have not, with clarity, said to the people, we stand with you. We're prepared to do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3. We want you to know we feel your pain and suffering.
Yeah.
All I'm hearing is, in many instances, they're talking, but they're not caucusing. They're taking up in the budgetary committees that they all have as far as how much money. They've got these assessments on damage, and the information there. If they need to know the geography areas, what was interesting, one of the individuals in the meeting gave information showing what the water reclamation provided. They didn't have Austin listed
Right.
on the map as far as it shows the amount of water, and I had that copy. And that's been a great concern because, again, if you leave out Austin, then somewhere somebody is, I don't know if it's technical or whatever. I'm not going to blame anybody, but certainly Austin has, to me, 8 to 10 inches of rain, and it should have been listed in that information that she mentioned.
The map did not have the name Austin on there with any kind of
it shows
numerical information. It just had a map with a diagram showing the hardest hit based on color codes. Right. And it was in the color code, but it didn't explain it. It had no explanation to, they said Austin. And it would have been different if they didn't have Garfield on there and they had some other communities on it. It was. It did not have Austin. It didn't have the name Austin. It just showed it in a color code.
I do want to say from the meeting, one of the things that needs to be done, and I did ask folks to raise their hands so that I could really get a show of how many people have actually completed this step, and that's 311. So if any of y'all are listening and you've yet to complete a 311 request or application, if you will, to get a service request number, you have to do that. They're really looking at these 311 service requests as a way to gauge the number of people that were affected. I know the Cicero thing came about a couple times. Cicero's president declared a state of emergency, which, would open up for FEMA funds right away. But even they, on their website, have essentially, if you, a 311 request form, if you will, it isn't 311, but they have it so that they can continue to work with their neighbors to see exactly the extent of the people that were affected. And I don't know so much it's gonna collect damage totals or anything like that, but you can upload pictures and videos similar to the R311 process. So for those that have yet to do it, you have to take that step. And if you probably did it already, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't do it again. But If you need to go to the website, it's CHI311, CHI311.gov, and they'll take you to the website. And if you want to download the app, if you know a little bit more tech savvy than others, you can also download the CHI 311 app, and you can fill it out. I went to my auntie about 80 years old. I literally did it in a good 5 minutes. They have a section on there already for flood. You go on, you fill it out, and if you got pictures and videos, you can upload for an additional reference. That'll help. Otherwise, you fill that thing out, they're gonna give you a reference number. You just hold on to that, and we keep those numbers going. At least a third of the room on Friday had not done that yet, and they talked about calling. And I know most of us probably called immediately following the flood, so they were backed up. But if you take, if you're an elder, you can get, somebody that's a lot younger to do that process for you. That can make it a little easier, whether it's online or via phone. Or if y'all want to try to resume calling, I think it'll be a good time to go ahead and resume calling now. But for those that had that issue that it was backed up, that's all it was. It's just we tried to call. Too many people were calling right immediately following the 311. This echo.
Should I mute over here?
No, you can't mute over there.
Okay.
I just want to make mention of something that nobody has discussed in the rooms that I've been in. I have talked to a lot of people since this flood, and because of so much rain has fallen lately, most of these people are so upset when the rain starts to fall because they're worried that it might start again. That additional trauma on people that have already got health issues and things like that, it's not a good thing. We have not had anybody who come back and say, there was a lot of talk that it was because of something that they did downtown. I know they can't stop the rain from falling, but if that was in fact the issue, they should come out and tell people it happened because of this, so we won't have this problem again, because that's a lot of trauma that they're putting on people.
Check and see if that one. Yeah. Yeah, it is a lot of trauma. People breaking out in hives, they're stressed every time, like you said. They see one drop of water hit the windshield or the roof. People are distraught. And you're absolutely right. But this is the thing. I made mention Friday that, again, there needs to be a body or something that can just immediately, once these things hit the wave, they got to be there ready to respond to people like we did. There's going to be more disasters and catastrophes. I don't know if everybody noticed what happened in Florida. Farmers Insurance is pulling out of the state of Florida, the whole insurance business, because they know what's about to come. They said the waters around Florida are at 90 degrees Fahrenheit. 90 degrees. They said that's bath water. The water ain't supposed to be that hot around there. And when you have that type of water, it automatically starts to generate massive storms. Mm-hmm. And they know they're pulling out, and they're trying to get all the people that they've insured to take on. They're referring them to other agencies or other insurers, so that they can get out of the state and move further north. Let's see, testing. Lance, is it sounding a lot better? Could you still hear the caller that called in? Please respond. But nevertheless, we got to be prepared. That's all I can say. We definitely have to be prepared, because right now, I just read something somewhere coming up in 2024. They're expecting even a record amount of storms to happen, even more.
Yeah, that's them folks up there. I know we talk about climate change. And I know me and Tiny, we the only ones that's conspiracy theorists on the line. But man, them people playing with the weather, man. They got clouds. They can make clouds now. They sitting there, man. Listen, they playing with the weather, man. And then we already been messing up the ozone for years, and we still want to rely on fossil fuels, and there's just so many things that we doing. Like I said, humans, are the only parasite that lives that have knowledge of how they how they are destroying their host, and we don't even care. Straight up.
It's parasites.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Look at. I mean,
We attached to the earth, huh?
yeah. But I mean, but look what we doing though. Look at the experiments that we taking on. Like we're creating people from nothing. You know what I mean? We're cloning folks and things. You know what I mean? We're creating rain clouds. You know, it's like we're really playing God. A lot of folks is out here taking and taking this life into their own hands. You know what I mean? Like we gotta be honest with ourselves. Like, we.
I've heard the term that the earth is not just a planet anymore. It's a spaceship.
No.
Yeah, they said if you look at the rotation of the earth, and it doesn't really rotate around the sun like you think, it rotates in a spiral around.
Right. Yeah.
Then of course then the sun rotates in another, direction, obviously. But then the galaxy rotates, and so we got all these different rotations going on, and we're just in the midst of it and don't know.
Yeah.
I don't realize.
Yeah, you people playing though, man. But I opened up a little bit about like this AI thing and really trying to understand that. And as technology has become way more advanced than us, I think we gotta really utilize those tools in front of us to look at this stuff. We start trying to figure out the best ways to live our lives alongside technology while letting it do its job. I mean, we got to start utilizing this stuff. And I'm saying that because, for example, again, reading another article today, they talked about the deep tunnel, this project that took a whole lot of money, and it's here in Chicago, and the Water Reclamation District built what they thought was a system capable of capturing the rain that came down, but we got 8 billion gallons, so apparently that system wasn't good enough. And now we got another reservoir that's about to go up in 29.
Right.
In 29. And, that's 6 years away. But with climate change constantly bearing down on us and the threat of torrential rains happening more often than we've ever experienced. And I mean, look, we had a flood, then we had a tornado,
Right.
and we got wildfires back again. I mean, like, earthquakes, I'm not going to be surprised when we get earthquakes here. We've had them before.
We've had them in the last
not gonna be surprised when those come back. So it's just like,
Well, the fault is around St. Louis, as far as earthquakes. It's in the St. Louis area, extending somewhat into southern Illinois, almost up to Springs. And I've heard it. I felt I was laying in the bed, and it just comes out of this field, right?
Yeah.
And later on, we found out it was.
Yeah, I felt the one in, I think it was 2005. It came from out in Sycamore, the Cal area. It just literally, it shook the whole room. I thought somebody was banging on the wall.
So that's why we're asking to convene a commission or study or a group of academia, scientists, financial individuals, plain folk, that have suffered, to let it be multi-agencies across the different governmental agencies.
yeah, for sure.
And there's no reason why this has not been done or thought of, or if it is, it hasn't certainly been publicized in any kind of way, because we're 1998, 2010, 2011, and 2023. So over those years, certainly if the information would have been out there, the communication, we would have known about it and not bring it up now. Where is this commission, or how is this going to be put together, and with the legal authority from state legislators or governmental body agencies to help? So all it's going to do is my parents used to tell me, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Right.
So no one want to live in a geographical area when any given storm may occur, they're wiped out. All in, and then those potential chances of recouping.
I
And
got
that's what we find out there.
Okay, the other thing I was reminded to tell everybody, be aware of the scammers. The scammers are coming out of the woodworks right now. True. Gotta be very aware. I was told a young lady had got her hot water tank replaced. Now the hot water tank was only 2 years old. 2 years old, because she only been in the place, totally remodeled place, 2 years. Guy comes in, replaces it, charges $1,300 plus probably another $700 just to put it in, and probably took that water tank that was 2 years old, sold it to somebody else for $700 and charged them $700. Because theirs was probably really messed up. So you gotta be aware of these scammers out here. Also, people out here, talking about their public adjusters. Those are legitimate people, but you gotta be clear on who they are. There are a number of things that's probably going on, but we definitely gotta be aware of scam. I know Lance Ellis said something about Nate Rogers. Nate Rogers is a news reporter, if I'm not mistaken, right, Lance?
32.
Channel 32. I don't know what he was trying to say about Nate Rogers. I know he said that on the chat. The other thing. Okay, Lance said he did tell his people on his block about the 311 calls. That's good. The other thing we need to tell people, Lance, is to let them go about the petition. We need to get thousands of these petitions done. And if we know there's 100 some odd people on the block, we can at least get, 30 people from a block to sign. Yeah. At least, a third of people, if not double, 60.
I like, I keep hearing flood this, flood that. We come to property and homeowners insurance. They are denying any request for help from the insurance company, from what I'm hearing, because they did not have a backup sewer and drain or rider option under their homeowner policy. So now, if I had it and I would receive a visit from the claim adjuster, receive the check for repair and all that. But I've been talking to individuals and asking them to look at their homeowner policy, go over it, go through it line by line, and how much you premium for this, that, and other. And if you feel, since we're in an area geographically where any given storm, natural storm may occur, you want to protect and cover yourself against loss. So I'm asking individuals to look at that homeowner's insurance policy, go through it, and look for that rider option or just declaration that says backup water and sewer. That would give you coverage to cover in regards to a loss that occurred from the water backing up through the sewers and drains in your house. And that's what they're paying, and you have to use specific language and state that. You can't say flood. Flood is above, water, above. This is an indication from whether we know the water reclamation district who made that decision as a result of water not having where to drain off, to back up into our houses through the sewers or drains. So that the insurance companies will pay for that. So please, get out your homeowner's insurance policy, look for that, and get some coverage. And the premium will determine the maximum payout according to what you have in that area of your property, basement or crawl space, whatever you want to call it, which could be impacted through a sewer drain in that area. So please, cover your losses and get that protection. So, and then if FEMA come and the city, state, and the county get some of this money, hopefully they'll make it whole, but something is better than nothing. And that's what I'm asking, and others are asking that in regard.
And don't forget, be aware of the scammers, because they're out there. Let me see, there was something else I want to bring up. Well, I don't know if everybody really understood when this really bad and severe weather conditions happened. There were a number of things that transpired either during that, just before that, and definitely after that. One, we always talk about the lock, the lock that's on the river and at the mouth of the Lake Michigan. Those locks were initially closed, from my understanding. And then they opened the lock. So that's one thing. The next thing is the Deep Tunnel project, which was completed about, 10 years ago. That's a massive tunnel that carries a large volume of water to these huge reservoirs that are literally like big holes in the ground, massive holes in the ground. And the reservoirs, the third thing, the reservoirs actually collect this water. And the reservoir that we are attached to on the west side, in the western suburbs, is the one that's in the McCook. And that reservoir took on 6 billion with a B gallons of water, from my understanding. And there was that capacity between that and the capacity of the tunnels. For those that don't know, there is another reservoir that's known as the Thornton Reservoir, I guess, which is out near Thornton, Illinois. And that handles everything from 87th Street, starting from the lake. If you took 87th Street to the lake and took 87th Street west all the way towards Olympia Fields, that area was covered by Thornton. The Thornton's reservoir did not have that much water. It only took 10% of the water of capacity, which means it had 90% of more to be filled, which meant that the fourth thing that came down was the torrential rain. And the torrential rain started about, 2, 3 in the morning or something. And it went all the way to 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Sunday. And the west side and western suburbs took the bulk of it. So we had that, the torrential rains, the deep tunnel, the reservoir, the lock, all of these things in place. And we ended up what we're doing now, still trying to get out of this mess. I know as Lance Ellis said, you still got people still trying to get their hot water tanks lit. Here it is 14 days later. We are on the 14th day now. 2 weeks have gone by. This actually started on July 2nd. And here we are on what? 15th?
Yeah, we had 16. 2 weeks later.
Yeah, 2 weeks later. But hopefully we can get some resolution here so we can get these people, a lot of people out here to suffer. You going without taking a shower, you gotta boil water and pour it in your tub, every day. That's a bit of a chore. And then not to mention that you can't get I guess you can wash, the washing machine is still working. You can wash in cold, but still need some hot water for that. You need hot water for other things. So nevertheless, we gotta get something to happen. We gotta get some restitution, some support. Anybody have any questions that they like to ask? At this time, we have 7 o'clock hour now. Anybody? Questions?
Well, how about if we can ask them to bring up some possible, recommendations or suggestions and that, I think enough or many individuals know what happened and why it happened and as far as they're concerned. So what can be some possible resolutions or recommendations so we don't find ourselves back in this So it seemed like it happened and we all jocking around looking for some, what
Right,
to do,
right.
react. We're reactionary versus planning. And that's why I said earlier, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Right.
And this 2023 going in 2024, like, and when they forecast a hurricane gonna hit the Gulf, automatically FEMA and all of them is being positioned and stationed, by or in areas, and with the FEMA centers, and that's why I say we need a commission of individuals to caucus and convene to put forth this kind of planning. So, the one guy in the meeting Friday night indicated he owns numerous properties out there. He's put a tremendous investment in those properties, and he just can't understand at any given time. It's almost like rolling the dice. Hoping it don't come up short,
Right.
that it gets flooded, and then it's just not a good position to be in when you just can't control it. And again, we can't control the water reclamation district, but we can at least know what decisions are gonna be made and for what reason. So every reaction has what's the saying?
Equal and opposite reaction.
Okay, so
But,
that's what happened, so.
well, let me say this. I would like to say that if everybody that's listening, is watching, as far as this petition that we have that's out, if everybody on here could get at least 25 people, how many on the sheet? 10? 10. Let's just say, get 2 sheets filled, get 20 people. Everybody that's listening, get at least 20 people to file this, to sign this petition.
At least 18 years of age.
18 years of age and older, right? That can help support this idea, because people have to get compensated here. They have to get whole. Those that have lost their furnaces, winter is coming about. They gotta have a furnace before winter comes, So as many people we can get to sign this petition, we can get some fire under these elected officials to make something happen. And we the people, right? We the
Steve, I
people.
got a match for you. I got a match for you. Put that fire up on
Okay.
there. But honestly, I just want to say this, Steve, because you said several times about the scanner. Is it possible that, like they do at election time with those robocalls, they can send out calls letting people know, because there's still some people that have not been reached. And there are people who's afraid to open their doors to strangers. Is there any way, do you know, that they could, the elected officials can send out those robocalls telling people to make sure that if they were affected, to fill out those 311 requests, and, how we gonna get the help to the people that, if that might help.
Right, that's an excellent,
Yeah, the robocalls are pretty cheap, actually.
yeah, excellent idea, bro.
In their political campaign.
Yeah, they got money. Yeah, they got it.
And again,
They got money.
this is why I'm drawing the contrast, or just looking at, we can't say enough for what Steve and Angela Robinson has done in regards to bringing us together, so we're having this discussion. Because some of these elected officials, they're there because it's a good paying job. They feel they don't have to do much thinking or really legislate, because nothing from nothing leaves nothing. They figure the people don't care. But again, I'm not summarizing this is where they're at, but this is what people have said to me. Where are our elected officials in that? Address that question. They have money in their political campaign that they could have done robocalls in their respective districts, communicating this information about meetings or you name it. Many of them run around wanting to get your sign-in sheet and get your phone log. So for what? Do the work that we've undertaken to get the information out, to bring people together to have this discussion. I'm not upset because someone disagrees with me or agree with me, But it's good working together that we can accomplish something and move
Right.
the ball forward as far as getting progress. So people are hurting now.
I think part of it is that, we increasingly have a system that's really reactive. And when I say that, I mean that most of these folks are really ingrained with this belief that the people that need help needs to come to them. So you said why having robocalls going out? I mean, the flyers to your home or whatever the case may be, is because most of them are probably just sitting at the office and just having the calls come to them. If you need help, call us, let us know, instead of actually going out to see. And again, that's part of the reactive nature of, the way that we do in a bureaucratic office. We continue to say, what can we help you with versus going to a person and asking, what can I help you with? What can I do for you? And that's just unfortunate, and that's just what happens. But
Right. Well,
so yeah,
I think it goes back again to the people. Prior to this emergency, we were just talking about starting a campaign, and we were going to call the campaign the State of the People. Like they have the State of the Union, we got the State of the People. Because right now, people are wondering, what are we getting? What are we getting for what we're doing in America? What are we getting for what we're paying taxes for in America? What are we getting to be an American in America? We give a lot, but what are we really getting in America? So, we literally have to look at how we come together, how we can make a difference, and how just helping your neighbor a little bit. You gotta help your neighbor a little bit, even if it's just informing them. It's gonna support the bigger picture, which is all of us. At one point, I think a couple of years ago, I used to tell people, I don't mind people being selfish, but you know what? Be selfish about keeping your house up. Be selfish about keeping your block up. Be selfish about keeping your neighborhood and your community up. But if you're gonna be selfish, make sure that your selfish intent supports everybody, because we need it. Everybody needs each other. Look how it is now. We all need each other, one way or another.
By example.
And you know what? I really wish that we already know that younger people, that especially if they're at home with their parents, they need their parents. But they have to also understand at one point in their lives, they're gonna have to reach out and need the bigger community also outside of that. And how do they come together? Because I don't even, what are kids doing these days now, DeAndre? How do they coalesce? Other than going downtown.
right. You're talking about like young kids.
Yeah, how are they coming together? What do they do to come together? Do they party?
Yeah.
Games?
Yeah, man. Ain't that's all they be doing. I'm saying, like, from the standpoint that these kids that are, essentially being run off, whether it's 31st Beach or downtown, like they're coming together to party. They still communicate. They communicate like us. I mean, via text, apps.
That's how they're coming.
But they're not in the same space. Like, for example, with the Island Youth, we doing a little professional development program with them. And I brought Angelica out as a civic person to come talk to them about, what it means to be civically involved. Mm-hmm. And she actually was like, yeah, y'all on Facebook? And the kid, he's 12. He went from 12 to 15. He said, Facebook. He said, well, ain't nobody on there with y'all old heads.
You didn't say MySpace. You like MySpace, what's that?
So I'm just saying, like, their mode of communication is different. That's all. Just different channels. I mean, they got a bunch of, new, I think Telegram is a new one that a lot of, younger folks are navigating towards. They got Omegle is another one that they navigating towards. A lot of them kind of use WhatsApp a lot, you know what I mean? So, yeah, no, these are things that
Snap, they only use
Snapchat. They still use Snapchat. but yeah, they use it, much more differently than we use it. So yeah, oh yeah, they on a whole different type of time.
So, Bertha, you still there? I had a question for her because
Yeah, I'm still here, Steve.
let me ask you, how many people on your block you think got really hit hard or got hit? Let's just say that with this water damage.
You know, I would say 75% of my block got hit
Right,
hard.
right. That's what I've been saying. It's been about 75%. Yeah.
So for those that didn't really get hit hard, like what was the difference? Did they have the sub pump? Did they have the restrictors and all this other stuff that people were saying, or did they were just fortunate?
Well, the people that didn't get hit hard, they had what they call backflow valves
Okay. Yeah.
with either electric ejection pumps that pump the water back out to the sewer system that comes from their house or whatever was inside of their premises. And then the water either came in under their doors or through their, where else did they say, through cracks and things like that. Yeah, foundations, water, because the grounds were saturated heavily. So everybody took in some, maybe a puddle or maybe even a quarter of an inch on the floor or whatever. But water was, and then the other thing is, let's not even go to the fact that it was just in the basement. People have damage that came in from the roofs and their gutters and things. Yeah. I mean, that got into the
claim on the insurance company for that. Right.
Yeah.
You know, my backyard flooded. My backyard flooded, which messed up my air conditioning unit because mud got into the air conditioning. Now that thing sit out there all winter, all summer, all everything. But because of the amount of mud that got in the air conditioning unit, we still don't have air.
Yeah, you're right, because you can't have, the coils can't be filled. Yeah, it won't cool with the coils.
That's why I would suggest check that homeowner's insurance policy where it states loss
Right.
of property or loss of personal items. And you have to argue with them. And then there's an appeal process. You can appeal it to the insurance company or to the Illinois Secretary of State.
No, not Secretary of State. It's Illinois State of it. Illinois Insurance.
Yeah, Arnold, and I understand what you're saying about the policy, but it still puts me into more money because while we fighting to get it fixed, I had to have some air. I'm asthmatic. I can't stay up in this hot house with no air. So I had to go buy air conditioning and put in the windows.
Right. Well, they got to pay you for that. And they got to pay you for the damages. That's a damage. That's, whether it was the wind, the sun, the moon, or the water, it's a damage to your property. Yeah. They can't say, well, it was water damage. They ain't got nothing to do with it. They ain't got nothing to do with that.
Read the policy, stick to the language, and use it exactly what's in the policy.
Right.
To file your claim. I've had people tell me, oh, no, I had this foundation crack, and they come through that now. Oh, you just messed up. You told them, found, and they record everything. And you told them foundation crack, that ain't so. That's
right.
Struck, wearing that.
Right.
And you got it. So you got some sticks that water came up through your drain. That's all. Yeah, when they shoot that laser on that, they're gonna see where you have water in your house. That's it.
I tell you, it's quite a bit that people are going through. And it's not just because of what really happened this time, but it's been happening over the last 3 decades. Over
the 90s and
the 90s and
this century.
Yeah, it's just and nobody's trying to say, hey, we know what we need to do. To make sure people are safe. People getting electrocuted now. The fireman got electrocuted and going down the street to a car that started a fire. The water started a fire in the wall. Electrical fire in the wall. The fireman got down there and somehow he was electrocuted.
I had a fan plugged in, and before I knew it, the water, It's up, I didn't go down there.
Yeah.
I don't care rubber boots kind of.
Right. You don't wanna take that chance.
It's fast, start floating.
But look, Aaron, you said it was in the 90s,
Right.
98,
97.
97. So over the last 30 years, almost 25 years, then it was, we've had 3 floods?
No,
Well, 2010, 2011, and this year.
and then there was 97.
But
So see, to our point, none of these multi-agencies was not
Yeah.
coming together with, you know.
because it's happened before, it's like, why don't we have a plan in place already?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, for sure. I was just looking at the occurrence, because I was just saying, I know that climate change is a big deal, but sometimes I like to look at the past occurrences, because
Right.
even sometimes you'll look at, it'll say, like, you look at the news, it'll say the hottest day recorded was in 1943 or something like that. And then you'll be like, oh, yeah, that was 70 years ago, like, that's about, you know what I mean? You know, like, and then it makes you think, like,
Well,
70 years ago, were they talking about climate change?
well,
Were they-
check this out. River Grove did something about it because they used to flood like crazy around Grand and River Road.
Yeah.
That would back up so high that you could see the watermarks on the Gene and Jude's and McDonald's.
Yeah.
And the Thirsty Well used to be over there.
Yeah.
The marks was 4 feet up, and then you looking down the street and it's going on the slant.
Right.
So what they did, they ran that deep tunnel somewhere underneath or near there, because they're not getting it like that anymore. Now imagine if this rain, which it did, hit that area, and they didn't have that deep tunnel, they would have been flooded out.
Yeah.
And that water would come. That water would literally go back into the neighborhoods for about a block or so.
Right.
And especially the people that were right in front of the river or River Road. So they got a little better. So now we got to figure out how to get everybody better.
You know, I know, again, the mission should always be sustainability. So one of the things that they brought up, the Water Reclamation District did, was the rain barrel program that they got. I think everybody needs rain barrels.
Yeah.
And you know, and I'm only saying that because, again, for sustainability purposes, like, you could do a lot with some rainwater. That's gonna say, that actually will save you a ton of money as a homeowner.
Oh yeah.
You know, washing cars or
Lawn and
doing
garden.
your lawn, you know, having a garden, you know, I really do think, when things like this happen, okay, yes, we have to look at our elected officials for their response and their ability to become a collective, but we also got to be an individual and consider what can we do ourselves. Like, yes, we may not have the money to buy the different tools that Steve mentioned to help prevent the flood in our home, but if we do this rain barrel thing, which I think they said the rain barrels are free, but the
55 gallon drums.
yeah,
Now let's just say this: 55 gallon drum, that it'll fill up off your roof, matter of 30 minutes.
right.
Realistically,
You gotta get along.
yeah. I mean, realistically, you won't be able to manage, because the amount of water that comes around your property, say your yard is 25 by 100, you probably need, 1,000 rain barrels.
I ain't saying you're trying to collect all the rain, but I'm just saying you collected enough rain.
Well, what you're saying is this: you're collecting an amount that takes it off the system.
Right.
You're taking it off the system so that the rest of it can kind of get in the system and prevent flood.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I can see a person having three, maybe four.
four,
You know,
for sure.
It's gonna take up space, but
I was helping Commissioner Bob McDowell at the time, as far as going around with Congressman Davis and his town hall meetings, and anyone or any village or municipality, when their town hall meeting was ongoing, to sign up for rain barrels. They did. Many of them in the suburbs allow for each home to have 4. Whatever your downspouts or have that, you just simply affix the rain barrel there. So, I mean, it helps. I'm not ever saying it doesn't help, but like you say, putting a Band-Aid on the damage.
right.
You know, and then the rain we just had, they'd have been filled up and,
Oh yeah, 30 minutes.
yeah.
30 minutes easy. Yeah, you with 220 gallons, if you got 4 of them, yeah, it would have definitely filled right away. But it would have taken a lot of the pressure off the system.
Yeah.
You know.
I think I saw Ms. Bertha hands up.
Okay.
Yeah, Ms. Bertha?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, did someone say that you could get the rain barrels free? If so, could you drop that information in the chat? And I also just wanted to make mention to you all, on my blocks, not only did houses flood, our streets flooded where people who would drive cars, some of those people got water in their cars. The water was all over the sidewalks. So it wasn't just the houses that flooded on my block. It was cars that got water damage as well. So we were hit hard. So yeah, we really, really kind of angry over here. But if someone did say that you can get free rain barrels, can you please drop that information? I would like to share that with my neighbors as well.
I
think Chris Talafaro said that at the meeting Friday that the rain barrels are free. But my daughter paid $55 for her rain barrel. Now I don't know when they started back the free program or who you have to go to. Call Talafaro.
You didn't say that to me, but I'll just say,
Thank you.
having been Commissioner McGowan since she's since retired, but contact Water Reclamation District and I'll find out as well. And hopefully by next Sunday, when we come back on, we'll be able to have that information for you. Because it's with the Water Reclamation District where you'll start. And how many, for that town I was doing, that you get 2, even for those gardens that was established, they allow them to get up to 4. So that's been some years ago, we're talking about before the virus years, so I'll find out, and then hopefully next Sunday when we come on, we'll be able to communicate that information for you, okay?
Yeah. Otherwise, I did just drop it in the chat. Now, when you go to the website, it says that the rain barrel is like $44. But as Ella said, the alderman said that he believes that they're doing it for free. Now, another guy in the audience was like, well, what about hooking it up, and setting it up for the folks? And he said it might be a time for that. I don't know. But he said the rain barrels were free. But again, that ain't his department. So.
We'll start a petition.
Yeah.
We'll start a petition, since they did it before. Again, I mean, that's precedent that they were doing it free. You see what I'm saying? And whatever, other people, better people, other people. That's what good government, good politics. So, again, that's a nice concern brought up, and we'll get some answers to that.
That would be a nice job for people, man. As many people we know need jobs. Go around.
I was signing up people like crazy for the rain barrel. And they would run out of different models, Cubs, White Sox, the different designs. They got creative. So I know from experience, for example, when I did a little tally and they added up the request now, spend almost $1,700,000 worth of rain barrels that went throughout the congressional district that I was, glad to be at the meetings and all that. So I know the power of what people can come together and organize and what can be possible. So
I'm glad you brought up congressional district. Congressman Davis said to us, he said that there was $17 billion given to the state of Illinois for infrastructure. And I'm sitting there going, $17 billion for infrastructure. You know how many jobs that could create? I mean, come on, 100,000 jobs should be easy with a minimum 50,000 a year.
That's why they brought the migrants in.
But You need to bring nobody in for those jobs. For the state of Illinois,
We ain't working them jobs.
$17 billion. That money ain't going just for equipment and supplies. You know, I would say half of that would be for equipment, for supplies and equipment. The other half would be for labor.
Yeah.
So let's just say 8 billion of that, 9 billion of that is for labor. Who the heck, where's this money at? Where's this money at? 9 people got $1 billion each. What's the heck going on?
Well, again, they didn't spend all the, COVID relief funding. And so, again, that begs the question to those governmental bodies in regard to this issue and other issues that are funding. The money is available, and that's fair game, you know. We question those governmental bodies and hopefully they'll provide under a FOIA or information in general. Those elected individuals who are elected to those different governmental bodies that can bring the information home to us, which is what some of the state reps have done and communicated in press conferences on the news and you know, so I get that, but
Well, I'll say this, look, because I was just thinking about it. So I was reading this the other day. Pritzker announced that over the next 6 years, they're going to spend $41 billion on infrastructure projects. 41 billion, and this comes from government, federal, state, and local funds. And this will go to repair and upgrade roads, bridges, airports.
About 15 billion a year.
Yeah. So, you know,
less.
I mean, that's part of it. That's where they're going. That just got announced on the 7th, July 7th.
with that information you just communicated, if our elected representation, both local, county, and state, is not getting it to our governor, how would he even, know that it's needed?
Right.
So it's incumbent upon us to hold these meetings, what we're doing, and say to them elected officials, with some backbone, go down there. You're not going down there, no popularity contest or kiss in no ring. You represent people who voted and elected you to be the leader you claim to be for whatever philosophy you may have, but nonetheless, you're there. So we have to work with you, but you have to represent.
But see, how do you, okay, right, boom. So I get that. But how do you, as an individual, right, that is elected by the people, because we have a two-party system, either Democrat or you're Republican. And if you are involved in politics, even if you want to be a free voice and stand up for the people, if your party tell you, hey man, you gotta chill out, or we gonna take this from you, or you ain't gonna be able to go to this place. Like, how then do you put your own person? Because again, we always talk about the individual nature of this thing, right? If you're on a plane and it's going down, you got to save yourself first. We're talking about saving home first. So as an individual, if I'm involved in politics and my family is dependent on what I'm doing in politics, how then do I decide if I'm rolling with this party to say, nah, I'm cool on the party, because, the people elected me when I know that my family at home needs what I'm doing and me consistently leveling up so that they can be their best, right? Like, that's the conundrum you face when you get in politics.
Well, let me say this. There has to come a point or a day where everybody in politics has to literally say, I'm not doing this for my job. I'm doing this to support the people. And that means that if you're supporting them, they're going to keep you in your job. But a lot of people don't do that. They just constantly, I got to stay in so I can keep my money, keep a job.
But to that point, it's because it happens. It happens time and time again.
Well, maybe we need to have a scorecard
That's, go ahead, Arnold, my bad, because I was trying to create something like that. I think I told you about that, Steve. I said I wanted to create, let me tell you, I don't care if it feels it, you know. I said, well, we need, number one, we need 100-day review. Each political person needs 100-day review. Then we need a mid-term review. So if we talking your aldermen, they need 100-day review to so that people could, you know, get an understanding of, you know, some of the stuff that they said they was gonna do, because they all need a 100-day plan. The mayor has one, your aldermen should have one as well. Then you do a mid-year review, a mid-term review, because you really want to see, okay, within these last 2 years, what did you accomplish? Where did the money go? Da, da, da. They number the little report card, like you said. And then we also need yearly favorability surveys. This is something that we do in a corporate environment where we actually engage our employees about how they feel about certain instances of the job. So how do you feel about the level of engagement, the level of commitment, the culture, da, 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 da. We don't have to go that deep in terms of how we present it from a elected position, but you need a favorability survey so that these folks that's in these elected positions year over year can get an understanding how people view them and how they see them, so that in itself could potentially put more pressure on them to give the people what they're looking for instead of just doing what they believe the people are looking for. You know, and so those are something I actually came up because I was really considering creating an IPO, but I don't want to do that. Too much work. And then Crystal Gardner has started one, the Westside 290 IPO. But I do, because that work that you just mentioned, that's all in my wheelhouse. I'm a statistician. I like data. I can put surveys and all that stuff together. And so I considered it, but I was just like, it's too much of an undertaking right now.
Steve, I'm rolling up the street, see, we have a pulse of the people in this movement.
Right.
The petitioner, and that's just an extension on building upon what we're doing as far as accountability, transparency, and responsibility. And so I don't see anything wrong with what DeAndre is saying, because we're all gonna play by one rule in regard to moving forward, to say to other individuals who may feel one way or the other philosophically or just indifferent, but they can respect you for what they sense you have their best interest in heart. So I'm all for that, because again, not all elected leadership. We've seen their profiles, we've seen how they dog and punish on the shows and all that, but enough is enough.
Yeah.
And at my age and my investments, but I've just, like I say, done as far as in the community. I've been a block club president since 1986. And that's many generations.
Yeah.
And like I say, I have a respect of the people, and I don't worry about it politically. I get my vote. I don't care who it is. So that's where this is going, and I would like to see it. You know, we ought to hold people accountable.
Right.
Yeah. And I don't apologize for it.
Right. We have so many wants that, you know, we need to get something. Yeah. And Ms. Bertha?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank you, DeAndre, for putting that link in the chat. But they are $43 connected with that. So Arnold, if you can maybe find out if we can get them at a discount price, or either at $3.99 would be even better.
Yeah. Briefly, Ms. Bertha, because when I was doing it, there was some concern then about a cost factor. Because, like I said, it started with one model, which was just a generic general model, and they're giving them out for, you know, dealing with the water and all that. And then they grew onto the market and all that, so they had a cost for it. But in those municipalities at those meetings, the mayor or the city manager or whoever politically or administrative made sure anybody wanted one or two, they got it. So there was options. You either pay for it if you felt, or they felt you wanted to, or either they just, in general, for those municipalities, whatever they did.
Right.
So I'll find out the latest where it's at now. And like I say, we put the pressure on them, like I say, you'll get them.
Well, the next thing that I think we really need to look at organizing around is these insurance companies. I mean, way before this emergency, I've had several people come to me about the cost of my insurance gone up. They won't insure me for this. I've been paying for 38 years and I made one claim and they're talking about dropping me. You know, there's just so many issues coming from so many different insurance companies that we need to know, why are they getting away with this?
Definitely got to get around with the AG.
Yeah.
Get the AG involved now.
Well, as we stated earlier, in my example, when State Farm in 2010, 2011 paid me for the water in the basement. Then I received a letter saying that you just had to get another homeowner insurance. And I went to appeal it and all that, and further communication and information. So I decided to go with Nationwide. But what I got out of all of that, Steve, was DeAndre and listed on it. Under the law, you had to have mortgages insured, and that you were going to a pool that through the Illinois insurance or whatever, you would end up with some coverage. So the good thing is you won't be left there unprotected. Mm-hmm. But nonetheless, another aspect of it is, since we're talking about floodplain and all that, some of the insurance agents or the insurance providers may not want to market backup sewer and drain, because you can understand that everybody in the impacted area has claims that hit to that company. See?
That's all right.
But
you pay a little bit more for that, though. You know?
Yeah, but many people they say, well, they don't tell me about it. I didn't know anything.
Yeah, they don't. They don't tell you.
And so I'm saying there should be something wrong with it. When you go buy a car, that's definitely gonna make sure you know about every bell and whistle.
Yeah.
And every feature, just more money for the gift.
Yeah. That's fact.
So why should it be any different when it comes to homeowners insurance or renters insurance if they live in that base?
Yeah. Right.
So that's all I'm saying, and like you indicated, when we bring them in before the people, and we ain't gonna be profiling and popularity, going up to the elected officials. We're about the people's business here. Let me just say that. Because I'm like many of you out there, I suffer a loss and it ain't personal, it's just business, and yes, it's personal to people.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I'm gonna do what's right, irregardless of whether you feel I go for whatever happens. That don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
I'm human like everybody else, so I just want to do God's will and do right.
Yeah. Guala, so you want to tap in?
Yeah, tell me in. All right, what's up, everybody? How y'all doing? Y'all good tonight? Are y'all good tonight? Well, look, all I wanted to say was, so, I work for a restoration company. So, obviously somebody else's misfortune is my fortune. I've literally worked every day for the past 3 weeks. They switched our schedule to 6 days on, 1 day off. What I would like to say is, what I see a big discrepancy between when I do Black neighborhoods versus the white neighborhoods is that a lot of the Black neighborhoods, they don't take care of their properties. So I was doing a property yesterday. I was on 78th and Chappelle, 78th to Chappelle. I think that's over Southeast. And the home I was doing, their whole the whole kitchen ceiling was coming down. My job was to come out and take the ceiling down. Once we removed the ceiling, it was nothing but mold in there. Also, I was there to do the basement. As soon as it started raining, because it started raining a little bit yesterday, their whole sub pump, it started coming up from the floor. The water started coming up from the floor. So when we talk about like why we don't have access to certain things, one of the things is obviously where we live and all that's good, but a lot of times we're not taking care of our properties, and then we're losing them for pretty much you really got to give them away at that point, because you're not taking care of them and you don't have the proper insurance. And you know, when we always keep talking about how we don't got money, I wish we would stop with this rhetoric and this lie. Like we do. I think somebody just said something about a link that my brother put in there costing some money. And it's like, I guarantee you, when you say these people are on fixed incomes, I guarantee you they're going to restaurants, they're eating out, they're doing these things, even though they're on a fixed income, they're doing things that feels good to them instead of what you should do. Like, and again, I'm probably a little bit younger than most of these people, but my brother can contest to it. I work, but I don't even buy myself stuff. I put money into investments, into trying to make sure that my tomorrow is better than my today. And I think that's a lot of issue especially when you see a lot of older people, they don't take care of their stuff and they don't cherish it, but they keep saying how no one is helping them. It's like, no, you're not helping yourself first, and you're expecting somebody else to just come in and take care of everything. Like, it's crazy to me.
Well, you know, let me say this, young man. You're young and you're living and you're learning. First of all, most of the older people are on a pension or Social Security. Do you realize how little they get from that? Okay. If they have worked all their life, struggled, and paid for the house, but can't afford to maintain it, their kids and all these other people who are in their lives have disappeared and don't want to cough up no money, they are doing the best they can. I can't lump all old people in that branch you have them in, because that's not so. You're blessed.
Well,
Count
no, no,
your
no,
blessings.
no,
Wait, let me
no.
finish. Let me finish. Count your blessings, okay? Because I am a senior, and by the grace of God, I'm doing a lot better than some, because I've worked 2 jobs, 25 and 30 years, and I got a pension and I got Social Security, and I'm blessed. But I can't lump all of the other older people who have homes. You know, living in a home is cheaper than paying for rent. And they're doing the best they can. A lot of them aren't mobile enough to get out there and do some of the work. But I am not going to lump them all in that. I mean, you're blessed. Thanks be to God. You are blessed. You count your blessings and you keep saving your money, but you ought to lend a helping hand.
I don't think it got nothing to do with being blessed. I think it has everything to do with looking at the economic times that we're living in. Like, let's be for real. In 2008, I was alive in 2008. I lost my job because I got laid off. That was the first time I really woke up and said, hold on, the world ain't what I think it was. I'm sorry. I don't want to be like everybody else and work one job for 20 years for a pension that I know. If you look at the world, like I'm looking at all these older people who had to go back to Walmart, and I'm saying, you know what? I'm gonna learn from them. And it's never, and this is the thing about older people, it's never too late to adapt to the changing climates. The social media, AI, internet has put everybody, you can get on there, whatever you want to do. If you're a elderly woman and you want to get on there and you want to talk about cooking, you can do that. You can get supporters and people can pay you.
Wait. You're not in a real world. You're in your fantasy world that you have created for yourself to say, oh, it's good. oh, I can do this.
Yeah,
All
you're
these older
right.
people
Because
can
I don't.
learn,
Because
but
listen, I
that's
don't want
not
to.
for everybody.
I
That's
don't. No, no, no,
you.
no. It
That
is
is
for
you.
everybody. Yes, it
Don't do
is.
that.
Yes, you know
Don't
what?
demean,
I,
don't
I
demean
100.
people because of their circumstances. Now,
I'm,
if
I'm,
you got so
I'm
much
not.
and you're
First of,
so great, lend a helping hand. You
I'm
see a
not.
senior
I'm.
out there,
I'm.
go out there and help them.
No,
Give
you
them
can't
a
get.
hand
No,
up,
no,
not a hand
no,
down.
no. I'm
And
not. No.
I'm offended by what you said. I'm
It's
very
okay.
offended.
Listen. It's okay for us to have differences of opinions. What I'm
No,
saying is,
no, it ain't
and you're,
even okay.
and you're,
Because
and
yours,
you're absolutely. And
it
you're
ain't even
absolutely
okay.
right. I do live in a fantasy world. I choose to see and believe what I actually see as opposed to what I want to happen. Yes, there's seniors struggling. Yes, there's black people struggling. But I do know that we take it upon ourselves because we don't pass down legacies. Yeah, y'all got houses and things like that, but you didn't take your kids and teach them what to do to maintain it because they seen y'all mess it up. That's all I'm saying. Like, we got to stop saying, well, you supposed to help give a helping hand to a senior. Why should I? A senior
No,
ain't
you
never
don't.
gave
You
me a
don't
helping
have
hand.
to. You don't have to. And you know what? I'm done with this conversation because one thing my mother and my daddy always told me, you can't make somebody see reality when they're living in their own fictionalized world. And I leave that alone.
I
But
agree with you.
thank you
I
for
agree
your
with you.
opinion.
100%.
I thank you
100%.
for your
I wish
opinion.
all the old people just realize what time we in and start getting on the internet, get you a Chromebook, and start doing something different.
Twin, that's part of
Excuse me, if I could just jump in 1 minute, because I was the one who thanked DeAndre for the link. It was me. And young man, I am a 63-year-old woman living very well. It wasn't that I couldn't pay the $63. I was looking out for everybody else because we're not
What's up, baby?
all the same. And I think that was at Miss Ella's point, that we're not all the same and we should not be categorized all the same. I run a business. I think I do very well in my business, but I don't only look out for me and talk for me. I'm talking about community. And I'm not saying just because it's seniors, they should get a break. If you've ever heard me talk, I talk about people who have disabilities, people who, I look out for everybody. And I never, ever, ever make a general statement that is everybody, all the seniors, all the youth, all the this. I never do that. And I think that was Miss Ella's point, that you were grouping all the seniors in a group to say that we had not taken care of our responsibilities. After 43 years as a nurse, I think I did damn well. I'm living
I never, first
fine.
of
Just
all,
bought
I
a
never said
2023.
all, and I never grouped anybody. I
Maybe
said
you
the
didn't
people,
realize it,
I
young man,
said
but
the
I
people
promise
who
you
house
did.
I went to do work
Okay.
on
All
is
right.
what
I'm
I saw.
sorry.
So how am I group everybody? I ain't went to everybody who even on this thing house. I said the ones I went to, what I saw was this. So that's what I'm saying. Y'all trying
So
to
they
group
saw the
everybody
mold
together.
behind the wall. You're
Yes.
saying they should have seen the mold
Yes,
behind the wall.
I'm saying what I see when I go to a lot of black people house is that we're not taking care of our homes. That's all I said. If you take care of your home, you probably ain't worried about this flood thing. But I'm just saying
Oh
we
yeah,
don't do
oh
it.
yeah, oh yeah. I'm worried. I'm worried. I've been one of the ones that's been out there. I'm worried because I got some double. I'm worried.
I'll say this: if somebody that's actively looking for homes in the Austin community, all of the ones that are available right now need a considerable amount of work. Even so for those that don't know, our family owned the Pink House. When Isaiah Anderson died, his daughters couldn't keep it up because he had the skills. He knew how to repair things that need to be repaired. They didn't have it. And our family doesn't have it because otherwise they would have called on them. So the Pink House was sold. It's out the family out now. It's the Greenhouse. I don't know if it's going to cost, whatever it's going to cost. I would love to be able to buy that house, now that I'm actually looking. But for the ones that I'm looking for in the community, in the Austin community, they are all bad. And most of them are black owned.
But let me say this, what you don't realize, 60, 70 years ago, or 50 years ago, the houses were starting to become decrepit.
Oh yeah, most definitely. But
and white people.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Yep.
You know, it's all a function of when you start and when you stop.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, like the twins, you know, what he's seeing where he started.
Yeah.
He don't realize where Ella started,
Right.
and where Miss Bertha started,
Right.
and where you're about to start.
Right.
You know, these homes, you know, they were relinquished to us.
Yeah.
Because
they were.
They were doing their flight.
Yeah, they were.
And they jumped it on us.
Yep.
We had to come in and put some parachutes to them.
And not only that, they roped up, they tied it off with redlining, and you couldn't even go get lost to fix them up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
There's
So,
a lot of that are part of the set. You know, you could talk about passing it on to generations.
Yeah.
You know.
But like I said, one of the biggest issues.
First of all, DeAndre, my house is not in bad shape. It might not be modern, but my house is in darn good shape. And if someone wanted this house, I haven't seen a bunch of houses in Austin that was in that bad of shape. They might need some work, but they have not been to the point of deteriorating.
Well,
every house. When we bought the house, they weren't in that good shape.
Right?
I'm gonna take up for my stuff because I know what my stuff is. So you guys just stop that.
Well, no.
Hey, y'all. I'm good.
It does. But again, for what's on the market right now, everything that I've looked at, they are all as is, and they're short sales because they need so much work put into them. I'm talking about, I mean, they may not cost as much, but you're going to have to put $100,000 into these homes.
But that's not all the houses. That's just some of the ones you looked at.
That's a small percentage.
Man, look, there's one on there right now, $339,000. You still need to put $100,000 in. I mean, that's a lot. Trust me, it's a lot of them. If you go do a search right now, homes for sale, Austin, Chicago, Illinois 60644, and go through all of them. I guarantee you, everything that's on sale right now needs at least $50,000+ put into it.
If you look at the ones that
DeAndre, respect it to the utmost. But I think we get sidetracked. And when we start talking about people and demographics, let us only talk about us and what our shortcomings are and not about somebody else. It's not fair. And it only causes animosity on these calls, and it should not be tolerated. And I consider myself an elder. Most people say I'm not because I'm 63, but I am. But I don't think I'm a horrible person. I think I'm doing a damn good job with my legacy. And to hear somebody say that Black people don't take care of their homes, I think it's actually sad. We should not be tearing each other down. We get enough tearing down from other people. And like I said, I was the person who mentioned that $43 and it should be free. If I had to pay $43 for a barrel, I could do that. But I'm looking out for everybody because we're not all the same. And we need to start treating each other better. We should not be on this call bickering up with each other about something like this. It's not right.
But how you going off of something when I'm telling you what I see? I do this for a living. I'm not you talking about like I just pulled this out my rear end and said Black. No, I'm telling you what I see. So
and
why are you not
telling you what we see?
Yeah, y'all, you might be, listen, you and other people on here might be the minority, but if you see more people that's going through struggle than you do that you see people that's not, you're gonna look at it. Overwhelmingly, Black people are doing bad. Overwhelmingly,
and let's help
that's
our
all I'm
people.
saying.
Let's help our people and not always
teach them how to run the business. You're doing good for yourself. Teach them how to get up and do something different than sit on and get a pension. They not broke. They not
don't think
What
rehabilitated.
are you
Keep them.
doing? Are you helping them? Are you doing something to help them? Are you practicing what you preach?
No. Because
Okay, then, well,
I don't.
the hell up.
I pretty much don't care what happens. I don't, because y'all
Well,
don't.
why even speak it? Why even
Because
speak it?
I heard
Shut
a
up.
topic I wanted to speak on
You
it.
part of the problem or you part of the solution. That's it, that's all. I mean,
No,
if
you
you're giving information, that's one thing. But if you just got to, oh, the boat got a hole in it, but you on the damn boat too.
No. We want us to help, but we don't help ourselves. Why y'all always talking about helping? Y'all ain't helping yourself. You don't want to get up, you don't want to change, you don't want to do nothing different, and you keep talking about the same circumstance.
I do want to get up. I do want to change. I do want to help somebody.
Well, then do it.
I am, young man. That's what I said.
No, I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about just everybody.
Explain this question.
Wait a
You
minute.
gonna tell me that nobody ever helped you in your life?
No, yeah, absolutely. I had plenty of help. Absolutely. Everybody helps everybody. But she said, what am I trying to do? Listen, the way we can help is about teaching you asked the question about where do the young people meet earlier, right? That's what you said. The way we can help is about teaching these new systems and the things that's actually going on in this world right now. That's how we can, but the moment we bring up stuff like artificial intelligence, the moment we bring up stuff about different business models that's new, that's relevant to this generation, to this century, y'all so quick to dismiss it. So how can I help you when the help that I can give is prevalent to now and today's society, but you don't want to try? That's all I'm saying. Yeah, yes, I'm willing to help you, but I can only tell you the stuff that I'm learning and that I'm doing that's better in the situation. Artificial intelligence is coming.
I invite you to come to my business to let me know what you can teach me, because if it's something that I can learn, I'm willing to learn it. But if
I'm gonna tell you this right now,
young man, if you could just let me finish, please. If you could just let me finish, I would ask you, when you're talking to a crowd or talking to more than 2 or 3, this is what I'm gonna ask you. Don't generalize everybody, please, because that was what started the problem on this call. To give you the utmost respect for your opinion, you're entitled to that. You know what you saw. But on the other hand, we're talking to you about what you saw. But me, I'm talking to you about me as a person. But what I would like for you to, if nothing else, young man, don't put everybody in a category, because everybody is not the same. Every young person don't have your mentality. Every older person does not have mine. So let's not categorize people. That's all I'm saying to you, young man. But I invite you to my place. And if it's something you could teach me because I want to learn.
Oh yeah, I'm 100% with that, and you're absolutely right. I apologize if I said black people and every black person on this phone got offended by it. I apologize. You know what I mean? Like if you like, I used to always take it when a person to say you this. I used to take it, get offensive, but I'd be like, they not talking to me. I take care of myself. So why would I feel any type of way? I don't. But again, it's a lot. If we go by numbers, statistics, and facts, that's all we can go off of. There is a lot of us that lose our homes at a higher percentage because we don't know how to take care of it. That's just a fact. And I'm not arguing that. I'm just saying, when I say black people, if you're not included in it, I don't know why people get offended by it. I didn't say nothing derogatory. I just said black people. If you ain't one of the black people, why you getting the feel away? Steve probably ain't. Did you feel away, Steve, when I said black people?
No, but I did understand
okay,
the rest of the people, because I understand how they feel.
I understand. That's why I say I agree. That's why I say I agree and I apologize. I'm just saying, if it don't apply to you, I don't understand why would people get offended by it, but I
Well,
I
I
apologize
got
for sure.
offended. I
For
got
sure.
offended by it because number one, it was derogatory. Number two, it's like I'm on Pill Hill and I'm living high on a hog and I can look down on others who don't have
No.
what I have.
Let
Number
me say,
three,
Ella,
I'm very passionate about my people and the struggles we have to go through. We don't know what these people went through. We can't
Right.
say that.
well, that's,
You know,
that's
each
because you don't,
situation is different.
and that's because you don't know Twin. I know him. I know he ain't no Phil Hill, but he's trying to shoot for it. But this is the thing, Twin, this is why a lot of people have problems with their property. When you get up in age, you've lived in the property so long, you just can't see what's going on with the roof. You just can't see what's going on with those pipes like you did when you were 30, 25, 40, whatever you were. You just can't see these things. So you have to have money that you have to have people come out and check these things periodically. In most cases, they may not have that money and they're not thinking about it. That's why they miss these things until something happens. Like you said, that crack in the foundation, the water coming up. Oh, I didn't know that was that bad. Now, my bricks collapsed. Oh, the water's coming in from the gutter because the gutter's falling off. They don't see these things like they used to, you know, and it's a reality.
And again, I do think like construction today is a reflection of the lack of trade understanding that we have as a people. You know, I know plenty of guys my age that don't fucking know how to change a tire. That, you know, like if I need to patch a wall, I know how to patch a wall. You know what I mean? Like, and even when I finish my PhD, I intend to go become an electrician because I believe in the trade and I don't want to be selling something because now we're moving to the space where I would like for us to get more involved in the trade and I don't want to sell it and not do it myself. But I'm just saying, like, when it came to repairs, the OGs used to do that because that's what they had. That is actually how Black people that migrated from the South were able to stabilize themselves. They had those skills because they had to do it for master, and those skills was passed down. But as my brother was speaking towards legacy, a lot of that is not passed down today. So we got to take up these newer ways.
But do you know why it's not passed down? Because what happened when you came from the fields to the big city, you try to make it better for your kids. Your kids went off to college.
Right.
When they went off to college,
right.
I had to go to what Ella said.
Right.
They thought that was beneath them to go do those things.
Right.
So now I agree. They rather pay than understand.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
It's good to have an understanding of how to do it, although you have a degree.
I agree.
So,
I agree.
And now we're in the fourth generation after coming out of the field. We're like 4 generations out.
Right.
So you know every time they're losing something, they're not. Right. I want my kid to go out. Twin, I know good and well you want your daughter to go to college.
Right. And it was with a jackhammer.
Right. You know.
On the jackhammer.
Right. You don't want her out there talking about, man, I got to figure out how to get this roof fixed.
Man. So, you know what I mean? But I mean, see, this is one of the reasons why I actually took up and learned some of that stuff, how to change. Like, I could do simple stuff on a car, a little brake, little tires, you know, a little windshield wipers, plugs that they get, you know what I mean? Like little stuff. I ain't gonna take the whole thing and same thing in the house. But I did that for a purpose because, like, my mom taught me how to cook and clean, so I didn't necessarily need a woman. But I also learned those things because I thought personally that some of those things were incumbent for a man. A man should know how to do something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You'll pick a damn hammer up or a screwdriver up and fix some shit. Right. And so I look at myself as a Renaissance man, so to speak, as almost like a throwback where I want to learn some of that as well as take on this new school and be educated. Right. And I think we need more of our Black men to be that way too and share that knowledge that they acquired over time. You know what I'm saying? Like we gotta do that.
And you're not gonna get to know these things till you get your own place.
Yeah, that's right.
You're not gonna know out there. Why am I working on cars and I don't even own a car?
Right.
You know, it just doesn't work like that. But again, you know, we kind of swayed a little bit on where we're going, but it's all relevant.
I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna stop. When people are buying homes, you pay for an inspection for certain things.
Yes.
They don't inspect everything. So you buy that house and it look good.
Yeah.
But then when you get up in there, shit start falling apart.
My boy
You know,
just went through that. I just got a boy that's just bought a house.
that goes with what Steve was saying with the money. You know, I looked at a house not far from where Arnold was at. That sucker was whoa. But my niece leaned on the furnace and something started cracking in the wall. I was like, let's go. But it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Everything that they inspected was beautiful. But it was what you don't see that it was. I just wanted to add that on. And sometimes, like if it's electrical work or plumbing work that you're gonna need when you get in there, because once you turn your shower on, your water drip, 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 drip.
Man.
They don't expect stuff like that.
I do want to put this down here too. So the homes that I was looking at are particularly in the 60644 area code. So because as a representative of the 15th district, I gotta stay there. So I've been looking for homes in between Austin to really Central. I don't really want to live past Central, to be completely honest with you. But I've seen other ones in other spaces in the 60644 that are decent enough, but I just don't want to live there. So I will say that to your point, Miss Ella, not everything needs a ton of work, but for where I want to live within that area of Austin, the Central, Roosevelt, pretty much to Division area, everything that I've seen so far needed a ton of TLC. But again, we just gotta, pass down some practices and try to get some folks to.
The pass down is now when you get in there, because again, the people that are already in there, they're up in age. They can only give you information. They're probably not even going to go out there and swing a hammer anymore. They're 70 years old. They're 68. They're 75.
Yeah. But I'm willing to learn. So
I mean, they can tell you. Information is king.
I like going over there. I couldn't go to because my car ain't back. But when I was in the garden, I was sitting over there with Tom Walker. He's a master gardener. You know what I'm saying? I like sitting over there with some cats. Hey, man, how you do this? Like what's that? You know what I mean? Like I'm into that. You feel me?
Let me tell you something. The quickest you're gonna learn is when you throw right into the process. Believe me. I didn't know.
No, that's the old way of learning things. The quickest you're gonna learn is just go to artificial intelligence. Just go to Chat GPT and type in whatever it is you want to learn. Like it's right. Like listen.
But you ain't gonna go look for it until you need it, though. Right? That's my point. You're gonna learn when you get it when you need it.
Oh, when you talking about when something break down, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's 100% true. That's a fact.
No,
that's a fact.
But
I'm just saying.
That's all.
That's what it brings back to. We gotta help each other.
Right.
All right. Yeah. All right, y'all. We done reached the 8 o'clock hour. Y'all know we do stay from 6 to 8. So I'm gonna go around the Zoom and start wrapping up so we can get y'all on off here before it get too dark. All right. I'm gonna start with you the first one, Wallace.
Yeah, I just want to apologize if I offended anybody. I didn't. I don't take it personally. I was just stating what I saw out my own eyes. I didn't mean to generalize it towards any person or specific people, but we just need to do better as African Americans when it comes to take care of our properties in general and not just our vehicles.
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because that's a big topic we need to be talking about. Because DeAndre and I, when we did the 40 Blocks for Movement Initiative, we walked to these 1,500 plus homes or whatever it is. Right. And we seen it and we were like, Steve, he said, Steve, do you see what I'm seeing? Man, people are getting older. They need help. And we saw that. We saw it coming faster than anything. So now we're at the bottom of that step. And we're looking up. So we gotta know how to manage this. That's the key. Next, Ms. Bertha.
I would like to say thank you, young man, for the apology, and I definitely accept your apology. Thank you so much. But as far as me, I don't have anything else. I do agree we all have to work together. Each one teach one, and we will be better.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Thank you, Ms. Houston.
Ella, you still there? Ella, break, Barry.
Hey, guys.
Hi, I'm here. Thank you, young man, for your apology, and you gave me some more insight that I need to work on. And thank you again. I'm very passionate about my people and the struggles we're going through. And I try not to make them derogatory remarks about them because I know some are struggling, health issues, a lot of things, mental issues, a lot of stuff ties into them not being able to maintain their proper property and stuff like that. So thank you again. I'm done.
All right, thank you. Barry?
Hey, guys. Hi, everyone. I really, I want to echo what Bertha said. Deontay, I really appreciate that you apologized. And I'm really glad that you're going to try to get away from stereotyping. I think that the more we can really help each other, like Bertha said, the more powerful we can all be. And the more, Deontay, you get people on the same spirit with you, you and your two brothers could be a really even more powerful than you are. And we need you.
All right. All right, thanks, Barry. Moto DR? No. Tiny? Miss Shirley? Shirley Howard. All right, Arnold? In conclusion?
Oh, okay, yeah. Then I just make an announcement. Congressman Danny K. Davis back to school. Parade, picnic, book bag, giveaway, taste of office. It's all gonna take place and happen Saturday, August the 19th, 2023. Healthcare, current vaccination, technology center. Book bag giveaway begins at 12 noon at the Columbus Park Factory next to the golf course. So I think that's important for the individuals to know. Line up. And I do know they won't issue a book bag without a parent or adult or guardian there with a kid. So again, they want to make sure that those individuals who want book bag or that equipment will have it. Lineup will begin if you want to participate in the parade. There's a phone number I can give you. 773-533-9940. There's cars, vans, motorcycles, all kind of floats and all that. Just contact that phone number, 773-533-9940. Block clubs, churches, organizations are more than invited and welcome to participate. And it will be giving away hot dogs, potato chips, and soda. So come out, family day, enjoy it, pray the Lord, and nature bless us with a wonderful sunshine, not too hot day. So like I said, we'll participate on arriving in the Columbus Park about 12 o'clock, from marching up at Bloomingdale and Central, down to Central and Madison, eastbound to Laramie, southbound to Jackson westbound from Laramie into Columbus Park. And again, if you want any questions or concerns or if any of your group or march marchers or participants, just contact Marquita Smith or Miss Jackie Greer at 773-533-9940. And lastly, please, we need individuals to circulate the petition that we're circulating in regards to assistance from our 3 governmental agencies, city council, county board, and state legislature. So help us, and we appreciate it. You can contact myself or Steve. I can give you my phone number, 773-367-7324. I'll bring the petitions to you, and we'll do them at church, business, you name it. So thank you, and look forward to talking to you again next Sunday.
Yes, sir. Tiny, you still up? I saw you pop on.
I am. I was on mute and I couldn't get in. But thank you guys for having the program and keep up the good work.
Yes, sir. All right, Steve, like a plan. Again, I want to thank everybody that came on today and appreciate all your collaborating and coming together. You know, everybody's got a bunch of opinions, and we got to figure out how we can make all these opinions come to light. One thing that did come out of all of this again is that we have been talking since, I want to say, March about where are our West Side elected officials. We need for them to come together and speak on behalf of what we need. And they actually met yesterday, Saturday. So now we got to find out what came out of that meeting so we can go back to them as a body and say, hey, this is what we want, this is what we need, and we ain't selling them for nothing less. Yeah. You know what? That makes me.
Steve, do you know who was in that meeting? What officials, elected officials was in that meeting?
Well, I know 4 that was in the room, or 5 that was in the room in the meeting yesterday. Congressman Davis, Chris Taliaferro, Emma Mitz, Camille Lilly, and Tar Stentz.
Yeah. You know what? They had a meeting on Saturday, though. A West Side elected officials meeting.
That's what I'm talking.
Yeah. I thought, she was talking about Friday's meeting?
Right. But so she said, who else was in there? So
okay.
No, I was talking about Saturday. When he said they met yesterday, I was talking about Saturday.
Right. But I'm saying those for sure I know were there, because they were told that night.
Yeah. Yeah, Lakeisha Collins. You know what? I saw a video. If I see that video again, I'll share it with you, Ms. Bertha, so you can kind of see who I am.
So those individuals were told, you know, it was regurgitated again.
You know, this makes me think there's actually 2 things that's relevant to the conversation about housing. One, the state legislature, Lakeisha Collins, I believe it was, actually was working, and this may just be for her district, so we might want to consider looking into other districts, looking at legacy housing and actually having the state set with some set-asides for homeowners that have lived in certain parts of the West Side or in their communities for a certain amount of time. Mm-hmm. So we got to look into that. So that's a piece of legislation that could ultimately help some of the seniors with their housing. And then the other thing is often coming together is having a meet, and it could be with sometime within the next couple weeks, about a housing ordinance for the city that will also protect residents that live in the city from housing issues as well, trying to do away with redlining. I don't know if repairs will be a part of that, but yes, price gouging, yes. And that's also another piece of housing legislation that's on the table. And then, I believe the county has something on the table as well as it relates to housing for our most senior and vulnerable populations in the community. So as it relates, sometimes it's about knowing what resources exist and being able to go get help with them. So that's something too to be mindful of. In addition to some of the things that Ms. Ella said, is that a lot of folks just don't know what's available for them, or we need to start putting more pressure on the people that's supposed to be in that's supposed to be in place to help us, so that they can actually get us the type of help that we need for all of the populations of the community.
And the other thing is, DeAndre needs to be sitting in there. He's an elected official.
Yeah.
He needs to be sitting in there also.
Yeah.
I just like to add to this conversation briefly. When you mentioned about in that meeting Friday,
Yes.
since it was brought to our attention through this petitioning and word of mouth and information that's getting out now, that in these bodies, they're at least talking about what kind of relief and monetary relief they're gonna provide.
Yeah.
You know, one of the aldermen, I think, Alderman Tyler Farrell mentioned that the discussion was around $2,000 up to maybe $10,000 for a household that was impacted. I don't know if I heard that correctly, but at least there's discussion. But when they do have these hearings, let's have some individuals who can be available to go down there and bring that passion and that fire
Right.
to testify. Because we know they're gonna happen. So we don't want to be caught off guard. Say, well, the hearing is for budget and they're taking information and assessing all that, whatever, however. So let's have some individuals and their schedules may be available who can go down. If they're invited or not, that's one thing, but at least be available to go.
Right.
Yeah, and to wrap it up, I just wanted to read the petition so that everybody can get an idea of what exactly we're asking for. So we have to the elected officials of Cook County, the city of Chicago, and the state of Illinois. And that's kind of going in ascending order towards how they would be able to allocate funds to us. So again, that's to the elected officials of Cook County, the city of Chicago, and the state of Illinois. We, the undersigned, are writing to demand that you convene a gathering of your colleagues to discuss monetary relief for the residents who were affected by the recent flooding that took place on July 2nd, 2023. The flooding that occurred last week was a devastating event that caused widespread damage to homes, businesses, and infrastructure. Many residents have lost their homes, their belongings, and their livelihoods. The affected residents have suffered an incalculable amount of personal loss. Many residents have lost irreplaceable items such as family heirlooms, photographs, and keepsakes. They have also lost their homes and their businesses. The financial burden of rebuilding their lives is simply too great for many of them to bear on their own. We urge you to convene a gathering of your colleagues to discuss monetary relief for the affected residents. We believe that this is the only way to ensure that they have the resources they need to rebuild their lives. Thank you for your time and consideration. Again, we urge you to consider the following factors when deciding whether to provide monetary relief to the affected residents: the severity of the flooding, the extent of the damage caused by the flooding, the financial resources of the affected residents, the impact of the flooding on our local economy. We believe that the affected residents deserve to be compensated for their loss. We urge you to take action immediately to provide them with the relief they need and deserve. And that's what the petition is. So if you haven't signed it, we need you to sign on.
And everybody that's listening, try to get at least 20 people to sign. We can 2 sheets. That's all we're asking. Let's try to get a minimum of 20 people to sign, and that will just push this even further. So we're reaching out, just like we all came together because of this flood. That day, you all said, "Steve, we need to do something." We did. All of us did. So let's do the same and follow through with this petition.
Yes, sir. And the petition link is in the chat. So all y'all got to do is save it and send it out to everybody that you know they got a phone and just tell them to sign it. Because we just asking for money. We put that pressure.
Or we can get the paper petition to your block. All the block club leaders that's out there.
True indeed.
I'm available to bring them wherever you're at.
Yes,
However
sir.
many sheets you want, so be it. We can run them off to get them to you.
All right, y'all. Y'all know, again, we do this thing from 6 to 8 every Sunday. We bring you to Northwest Austin Council. We got the Facebook, the Zoom, and the YouTube. Any channel that you want to watch, feel free to tap in, because that's the best way to do it. Also, share the show. Y'all ain't got to be selfish with the show. Share the show. Let everybody know what we're doing over here, because, again, a large movement came from this show right here. And the larger we get, the more we can do for y'all. That's all we trying to do is do for people up for help. So again, we have open seats at the table. All we trying to do is welcome y'all home. Thank y'all for allowing us to welcome you to Northwest Austin Council. Y'all have a good night.
Good night, all.
All
Good
right.
night.
Let me just remind you guys, this is only the beginning.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
It is. Yes,
Just
it
like
is.
that song, there's no stopping us now.
That's right. We got to push,
All right.
Hey,
God
wait
bless.
a minute. Hey, Twin, where were you at when the 1,500 people was down here with me and DeAndre? Shit, it was at work. Oh, he was yeah, he said he working 6 days a week. Yeah, he was at work, man. Yeah, like you said,